Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday, the 24th of October. Starting off with the FTSE 100, where one can almost not believe where we are actually at record highs under a Labour government. Who would have thought that? And we've got the top of the channel there as high as 96.80, which we were looking for by the end of next month. We might get there a bit earlier, hopefully, while we remain above recent broken resistance around the 94.80 level. But at the moment, looking pretty set fair, it has to be said. After the collection of RSI 50 rebounds that we had, the last one was around a week ago, and that's worked as a signal, as has the way the market just bounced off the floor of the channel and the 50-day line and then headed higher. Almost too good to be true at the moment, so let's see if it remains as smooth as it looks at the moment. Moving on to the DAX, and here just resting near the 50-day moving average, the blue 50-day line there, around, based around 24,000. Above that, we've got a good platform for a move to the upside, up to the top of the channel there from back in April, 26,000, and we're looking for that by the end of next month. As you can see from the brief dip that this market made below the 50-day line, it does seem to prefer to be above it, also prefers to be above the RSI 50 level, which is also a positive. If you're looking for a momentum signal, obviously recent resistance around 24,400, end of day close above that would hopefully mean that this market keeps on going. The Dow is next, and here you can see that we are consolidating at the better levels or near the better levels after that resistance line break around 46,200. Above that, looking for the top of the channel and record highs through 48,200 by the end of next month. Any rug pulls, hopefully Trump permitting, would be down to the 45,900 level and the 50-day line as we had both earlier this month and also back in August. Cryptos are next, and here we can see that Bitcoin is still trading near the 200-day moving average. That's the black line there around 108. We're between that and the 50-day line at 114. Obviously, we're looking for a breakthrough through the 50-day line to give us another go at the highs. Best level here by the end of next month, up to 135. I suppose that might actually be the end of year target, given that we seem to have slowed down a bit. But at least while we're above the floor of the channel there at 103, looking for the 50-day line at 114. The thing that's missing at the moment is actually the RSI being on the right side of neutral 50. It's actually at 44 at the moment, which is leaves the door open for either stalling in the current range or a potential test of support down towards the June support area at 98,000 as a worst case scenario situation. Ethereum is next, and here we've had the comfort of an uptrend line there from April. That's running around 37.40 at the moment. And above that, we're looking for the 50-day line, 42.49 over the coming days. Again, like as is the case with Bitcoin, we've got the RSI below the neutral 50 level, so still on guard for a potential test of support either at that April line or the August line there, which is around 35.50, or more logically, the August support at 33.60. But at the moment, hoping that we'll stay at and above the April uptrend line. Gold is next, and here everyone was obviously very excited at all the volatility that we've had. We had the record high through 43.70, and we come back. We were hoping that we'd stay on the right side of 4,000, which I think we've just about done yesterday, 4,005. But the next level there was actually 40.60, which we were hoping that would be the support. We actually overshot that a bit, but we're now back above 40.60. RSI remains above neutral 50 at 55. So this is a positive consolidation so far, despite the rather scary stories in the media regarding the collapse of gold, etc. This is kind of a normal retracement back to old resistance. Moving along to the stocks and starting off with Asiamet, which all of a sudden has sort of revitalized itself, who was stuck around the 1 penny level for the longest time, almost a year really. So this is a significant breakout. Top of the channel here up to 1.4 pence, looking for that by the end of next month. That's the top of the channel there from back in September last year. So relief all around. It looks as though you can see from the candles that this is quite a positive breakout, and the shares are enjoying the breakout, especially while we hold above 1.1 pence on an end-of-day close basis. Record discovery of some kind in as far as Cloudbreak is concerned. We already had the vertical move from the end of August, amazing move. Top of the channel here, heading towards 1.75 pence. And we're looking for that while we remain above the floor of the channel, quite logically, at 0.9 pence. You can see the RSI has remained above neutral 50 since the end of August. So this is still a very strong trending situation. Multiple bounces above neutral 50. That only happens in the best situations. Moving along to first class metals, and here the company and the shares fighting back after all the mudslinging that the company had, which was ridiculous, really. Seems to have gone quiet on that, all those accusations and everything else. At the moment, we've got rising 50 and 200-day lines, and that should be the stepping stone for a move up to 4 pence by the end of next month, while we're above the 50-day line at 2.17 pence. See, there's been two main RSI 50 rebounds so far in the last month, and that also gives the chart a positive look. On to Great Western, where it's amazing, really, the strength of the shares. Normally there's a rug pull or a failure or something like that, but we managed to get back above the old gap top there from back in June. That was around 1.55 pence. But what looks like a mid-move consolidation, a bull flag heading for a potential target at the top of the channel there from June, as high as 2.5 pence. And we're looking for that by the end of next month, especially while we remain above the 50-day moving average at 1.75 pence. I suppose there are a few things that could ruin that, but fundraisers, etc., permitting, and even the reaction to the fundraisers, hoping for 2.5 pence by the end of next month, while we remain at or above current levels, or around current levels, to be more accurate. Moving on to Hydrogen Utopia, which I tweeted about yesterday because it looked like there was going to be the big breakthrough. The powers that be managed to get the shares back from 2 pence plus. But what's interesting at the moment, or what will be interesting, is if we can stay above the 200-day line around 1.65 pence. If we can do that, then the initial target here of 2.25 pence still stands, and the best case scenario target by the end of next month towards 4.5 pence could still be delivered. What you can see here is that the shares are still rising above or still trading above a rising 50-day line, and are strong enough not to have touched it. And we've also had a couple of RSI 50 rebounds as well. So it looks as though there's a positive build here at HUI. Stock which has also moved sort of in this stealth way through targets we were looking for is Light Science. We're previously looking for the top of that rising trend channel, the red one, 4.65, which has been blown away in the last few days. Next level up here, up to 7.6 pence. And you can see that today we've actually gapped higher, so the momentum is building. We had a gap back on the 15th as well, so this looks like a proper re-rate. You've got 50 and 200-day lines both rising, and as I said, 7.5 pence or so. 7.6 pence even by the end of next month looks possible. Mkango, I think, has the equivalent of a speeding ticket RNS here, gapping higher after saying that everything is hunky-dory, effectively. We were looking for a best-case scenario target as high as 97 pence, the high today so far 85 pence, and obviously we come all the way back down again. But as long as we're above the mid-50s, it still looks as though we could get up to the 80s, 90s again, well before the end of this year. Double RSI 50 plus rebound in the recent past, so it looks as though this is still a very strong situation. Moving along to Prospex, which I think had a decent RNS today. Here, I think it's, as I said in the commentary, it was all about production, and that did give the shares a little bit of a bounce today. The main thing here is that we remain above that broken resistance line there from February around the 4 pence level. While we do that, we could get up to 6 pence, perhaps by the end of next month, or at least by the end of the year. Not many stocks to look at today, which, as you can tell, but Pantheon, always worth a look, just for a bit of fun. Here you can see we've got a rising 50-day line, shares consolidating either side of that. Rising trend channel there, top of the channel there, heading for 36 pence, which is what we're looking for by the end of next month, after the two RSI 50 rebounds that we've had. And the upside value, while we hold above 25 pence, obviously the company's had issues with the odd duster, etc., and hopefully those days are behind it now. So 36 while we're above 24 or 25 at the moment. Finishing on with Tooru, and here we've hit our first target there at the top of that falling trend channel. That is around the 0.24 level. We hit to 0.25. End of day close above 0.25. We're looking 0.4 pence by the end of next month. Yesterday's RNS well received, and it looks as though the company's rollout amongst various supermarkets is well and truly on its way. Upside value certainly while we're above the 200-day line there at 0.22, and you can see we gapped up through that rising 50-day line, so this looks like a strong situation. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.